What if a single gas shortage could derail the entire AI revolution? This isn't a theory, it's a global emergency unfolding right now as we speak. Our digital future is far more fragile than we ever imagined, and it all depends on a resource we take for granted. Welcome to a special investigative report. Today, we're exposing why the Qatar shutdown is the single biggest threat to Silicon Valley in a decade. We are diving deep into the data, the science, and the high-stakes geopolitics of the helium crisis. Qatar, the world's largest producer of liquefied natural gas, and as a result, a massive provider of the world's helium supply as a critical industrial byproduct. Their facilities are the heart of the global market, and that heart just skipped a beat. On March 2, 2026, operations suddenly stopped. This wasn't just routine maintenance, it was a total halt that sent global markets into a complete tailspin, leaving the tech industry scrambling for answers and alternatives that don't yet exist. Qatar produces a staggering 36% of the global helium supply. Losing this overnight creates an unfillable gap that threatens every major tech hub from Hsinchu to Austin. When over a third of the market vanishes, the consequences are immediate and severe. The US produces 45%, mostly from the aging Federal Helium Reserve in Texas. But decades of privatization and declining output mean even the world's largest reserve can't save the AI industry from this sudden geopolitical shock. The buffer is gone. Geopolitical tensions are at an all-time high. Any disruption in the Strait of Hormuz could cut off the remaining shipments, effectively starving the world of helium. Helium's journey began in 1895, discovered in the natural gas fields of Kansas. It was a scientific curiosity then, but by the mid-20th century, it had become a strategic national asset, protected by governments and sought after by every major industrial power. The strategic value of helium was cemented during the 1960s space race. NASA used massive quantities to purge fuel tanks and pressurize the rockets that took us to the moon. Without helium, the Apollo missions would have never left the launch pad. Today, helium is extracted through cryogenic distillation. It is separated from natural gas at temperatures colder than space itself. It is a masterpiece of chemical engineering, requiring massive energy and precision to capture just a few parts per million. Why is it so vital to AI? Helium is the only element that remains liquid near absolute zero. It is the ultimate coolant, existing in a state of physics where most materials shatter like glass. It is the only way to keep our most advanced machines running. Its thermal conductivity is unmatched by any other gas. It moves heat away from sensitive electronics at the speed of light, making it the essential heartbeat of modern manufacturing. Without this cooling power, the nanometer-scale circuits of today would melt. In semiconductor manufacturing, helium is used to stabilize temperatures during the ultra-precise etching of silicon wafers. At the nanometer scale, even a fraction of a degree can ruin an entire batch. Precision is simply impossible without helium. It also controls the plasma that etches circuits thinner than a human hair. Without helium, the machines overheat, the plasma becomes unstable, and multi-billion-dollar production lines simply freeze. The entire process of chip making relies on this invisible gas. This brings us to the core of the problem: artificial intelligence. The chips that power modern AI models, like the massive NVIDIA H100 and Blackwell arrays, absolutely require helium at every single stage of their existence. No gas, no AI. The most advanced chip-making machines on Earth, built by ASML, use helium to protect their incredibly sensitive optics. These EUV machines are the only way to build the brain of an AGI, and they are now facing a supply chain nightmare. NVIDIA's production lines are already feeling the pinch. Their next-gen Blackwell architecture depends on steady yields that are only possible with a consistent gas supply. A shortage here means fewer GPUs and a multi-year slowdown in AI development. TSMC, the world's most advanced chipmaker, consumes vast amounts of helium for its 3nm and 2nm nodes. A shortage here is a progress freeze for the entire world. The road to the future is blocked by a lack of gas. Progress is stalling. We're already seeing projections of GPU prices doubling by the end of the year. This will price out all but the largest tech giants from the race for AGI, turning AI into a tool for only the ultra-wealthy corporations. The economic gap is widening. When hardware costs rise, so do cloud compute rates. Expect your AWS and Azure bills to reflect the helium shortage sooner than you think. Innovation is becoming a luxury that many developers simply won't be able to afford. The cost of code is rising. Startups are the most vulnerable. High compute costs will kill innovation before it even has a chance to scale, effectively cementing a tech monopoly for the big players. The garage-born AI revolution might be over before it truly begins. It's not just tech. MRI machines require liquid helium to keep their superconducting magnets cold. Tech and healthcare are now direct rivals for a rare and disappearing gas. Healthcare systems are at a crossroads, forced to compete with AI for survival. A shortage could lead to hospitals being unable to perform critical diagnostic scans. The human cost of this gas crisis is just as real as the technological one. Life-saving machines are at risk, and the supply chain is showing deep cracks. Every balloon filled with helium is gas that could have been used to train an AI model or save a life in a hospital. The prioritization debate is heating up globally as resources dwindle. Should we be using a strategic asset for party favors? Russia has massive reserves, but international sanctions mean that supply is largely blocked for Western markets. China, meanwhile, is securing its own path to energy sovereignty, seeing helium as a key pillar of its national AI strategy. The race is on. One of the biggest hopes lies in Tanzania. A massive primary helium discovery in the Rift Valley could change the game for the entire high-tech industry. It is a new frontier for exploration, but one that requires billions in investment and years of work. If successfully tapped, this field alone could supply up to 10% of global demand by 2030. But building the infrastructure will take years of engineering and massive logistical effort. It is a long-term solution for a short-term crisis. The clock is ticking. We can't just keep mining, we have to start recycling. The new closed-loop systems are a marvel of modern engineering that can save our digital future and protect our atmosphere from the loss of this precious, non-renewable element. Conservation is now key. These systems can recover up to 90% of helium used in a fab, but they are incredibly expensive and complex to install at an industrial scale. It's an engineering challenge like no other, requiring a complete overhaul of how we build and run factories. With prices hitting record highs, the ROI on recycling is finally making sense for major chip manufacturers like Intel, TSMC, and Samsung. Efficiency is no longer just a green goal, it's the only path forward for economic survival in the chip war. Governments are finally stepping in. The proposed Strategic Helium Act would prioritize gas for semiconductors and MRI machines over all other non-critical uses. Policy is finally catching up to the physical reality of our scarcity. Law is our final shield. The next 3 years will be critical. If we don't solve the supply gap now, the AI revolution will hit a very hard and very expensive wall. The clock is ticking for the entire tech industry, and the stakes for our technological evolution have never been higher. In the worst case, AI development hits a wall. Research into AGI could be delayed by half a decade or more. The stakes could not be higher for our technological evolution. A choice must be made between stagnation and radical innovation. Our future depends on it. The Qatar shutdown is a massive wake-up call. Our digital future is more fragile than we ever imagined. It depends on a rare, finite, and precious gas that we are rapidly running out of. We must innovate, we must recycle, and we must secure our supply. What's your take? Is the helium crisis being overlooked by the mainstream media? Join the conversation below and subscribe for more investigative reports into the future of technology and the hidden resources that power our world. Stay informed. As we look to the future, the stability of our technological era hinges on this invisible resource. The race to secure helium is, in many ways, the race to secure the future of artificial intelligence itself. From the desert sands of Qatar to the cleanrooms of Taiwan and the labs of Silicon Valley, the stakes have never been higher. Thank you for watching this special investigative report. We will continue to bring you the latest on the intersection of energy and AI. The journey towards AGI is long. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next deep dive. Until next time.